Hello. More of what I do. Um, in this video, I'm going to talk about um, a little bit more on practicing concepts. So I will first start off with, well, why do we practice? What's the whole point? Because sometimes even I ask myself, why am I doing this? Now, I particularly do a lot of practicing because I just enjoy it. But we practice because we want to get better. We practice, maybe on specific songs, to get them, right, and all this stuff. But there's another reason. Now, I should point out that, you will hear about some players, famous guys, folks, people, and they'll say things like, well, they don't practice. Well, granted, there are gifted people, but you'll find that if there's a player that's gigging nightly, well, they don't need to practice as much as somebody who doesn't perform as much. But anyway, let me jump right into things I'm working on. Now, this particular exercise is a thing called the spider. Now, some of you will be very familiar with this. I recall somebody showing me this, and I was so proud when I got it through. But I'll run through it. But it wasn't part. I don't practice it like I'm practicing it now, and I realized that there were other aspects to this exercise that I had missed out on. Anyway, the exercise, it's pretty much just an achromatic scale, right? Achromatic. So the exercise is just. That's the exercise. Playing that E chromatic in octaves. Okay, well, the thing about this particular exercise is when I play the same thing slower, it becomes a completely different exercise. When you're playing it fast, it's like it benefits the fingers, but when you're playing it slow, it almost has more of an emphasis on the hand in addition to to fingers. So here's slow. I have to adjust my shoulder there, gotta stay relaxed. I can assure you, for me, that is much harder to do. My fingers, it's like they're not, sometimes they're not exactly hitting the mark. If I watch closely enough, I'll probably notice that maybe my hand is shaking or something like that. So this is a good thing to work on. At that tempo, it's almost like Tai Chi. Almost like Tai Chi, for the guitar. And in this case, why do this exercise? What's the whole point? The whole point is basically maintaining, your fingers to be limber, to be agile, providing you the ability to have your hands be as youthful as they've ever been, particularly as you get older. I can think of some players, you reach a point where you're like, oh man, my hands don't move like they used to. Well, if you basically work on things, to keep your fingers, agile and limber, well, that's going to take care of that. It's funny, I take care of my hands quite well. I just wish I took care of my whole body that way. So anyway, Again, that's the whole spider thing that I just showed you there. Now, what I'm going to do now is the same idea. Don't ask me why. I've never worked on this kind of thing, and I never did. Only until recently, and that is instead of just doing a chromatic thing, now I'm going to diatonic. I'm doing major scale. So in this case, I'm going to play A major scale. I'm in a fourth position, as you know, fourth position, my favorite position. And here we go. A major. Okay, so playing this slow. Much harder for me. What's the point? Why? Again, look at it as Tai Chi for the hand, for the fingers. Again, the whole idea of any of these kinds of exercises really is to just keep you limber, keep you agile, so that you can play all the things that you have been playing. Your fingers will move the way you want them to do. And the whole idea is to be able to keep your hands as youthful, as they've always been, particularly as you get older. It's much more important. But anyway, I just thought I'd kind of share that with you. So again, if you have any questions you'd like me to address, just drop me an email or something like that. I'd also like to take a moment to, thank those of you who have, made a donation to myself. It's been, it really was quite a surprise. I mean, you do these things, you really don't expect anything, and maybe I'm telling you too much, but that's the truth. And I'm ever so grateful. Thank you so much. So with that, I'm just going to say, signing out. I will see you next time.